Okay, I wasn't planning to make this video, but I saw this absolute dumpster fire of a comment on my YouTube feed. Like, the YouTube notifications page. He replied to me. I said, "Oh well, games used to take a lot of work because of the limitations at the time," which is a fair assumption, right? Even if I was wrong, it would be a fair assumption. So this pure troglodyte comes out with the response: "Limitations are exactly why they couldn't spend 4 years making them, dumbass." I'm sorry, what? I'm say again? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, Duke Nukem just called. His game took more than 4 years. Huh? Huh? Oh, Halo? Oh, that took a few years. Oh, now that I think about it, there's a few games that took more than 4 years, or 4 years, or 3 years. That's a few games. Okay, so now he goes on about Sonic 2, Crash 2, Spyro 2, and Doom 2. These are all games that are basically just clones of their previous version. This is a comment from a Fred about a fairly recent game. Imagine if, imagine if like fucking Half-Life 3 was just same engine as Half-Life 2, same game as Half-Life 2, but like maybe one or two new guns. Oh, yeah, the new characters. Oh, and oh yeah, like new levels. That's not Half-Life 3. That's a Half-Life 2 episode 3. That's the point of the episode, you dingus. Sonic 2, Crash 2, Spyro 2, and Doom 2 were all made to make money. And all of these games have something in common. You wanna guess it? They're banking off the success of the first game, not wanting to change anything, and only improving on the first game. Not changing anything for the better or the worse long term, only improving. But not for the long term, only improving at the time. Doom 2 and Doom 1, relatively the same game. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Yeah, Sonic 2 is way better, but relatively, they're the same game gameplay wise. But then, bring in, like, Sonic 3. You got act transitions, all this random shit, voice acting in it. Oh, you got cutscenes, new sprites for everything, hypersonic. Bro, that game was so big they had to split it across 2 cartridges. 2! I'm sorry if this video comes off as a rant, because it is a fucking rant. This fucking comment is a dumpster fire. And we're gonna go across all of these points. All of them. So let's read this. A few of limitations to what you can do, what you can put in your game. There are less things that can go wrong. No. If you have limitations, there's more things that can go wrong. Yeah, technically, less things equals less things to go wrong. But that's like saying, oh, well, my computer is from 1988 and is tiny. My computer is the size of a pea. Obviously, there's less things that can go wrong. Yeah, technically, there's gonna be less parts in it, so less parts that can fail. But all of those parts are gonna be less quality. E.g., fucking Sonic 1. Sonic 1 was, in my opinion, kind of a terrible game. Because of, well, how it's aged. Hell, even stuff like Half-Life Blue Shift. The fact that they've tried to squeeze the original energy of Half-Life into, well, a smaller package means that it's basically just condensed half-life, which is more volatile. It's like condensing gasoline into a bottle and throwing it on the ground. It's gonna fucking explode. Half-Life 1 is more like a giant vial of gasoline. You throw it on the ground and it might explode, or it might just leak out. Who knows? I'm sorry if that's a bad analogy, but this comment's a bad comment, so I kinda gotta work with it. Okay, limited graphics speed. You don't have to waste time working with complex features like nodes, geometry, shading, ambient lighting. No, it just means you don't have those features. It literally means you have less options to work with. Like, that means you have to come up with things to make these graphics look good. You have to spend more time making more flimsy versions of these automatic graphic systems. You have to bake in shadow lighting, which takes up more time and space in the texture files. You have to condense these textures so they, look like dog shit most of the time. You gotta do this and that and run around in circles just trying to make these things work. Yeah, sure. You can, I guess, do it faster if you know what you're doing. But I'm sorry, but having shadows automatically done is a lot easier than just having to trace and make different textures. You have to make, lots of different textures for, is there an object here? How big is that object? What is the shape of that object? And yeah, you can laze it out and just make a tiny shadow blur, but that isn't gonna work. Ambient occlusion, fucking ambient lighting. Okay, what's easier, make, making a light bulb a static object, or getting the engine to just make the light bulb for you? I get it's not that simple, but still, you get my point. There is things you have to come up with here to get around these limited graphic options. And if we're bringing up old games, like really old games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the only reason Sonic's arms are skin colored, they're tan, is because of the hardware limitations that the console had at the time. So you could see his arms. It was very hard to, tell apart. Or Rareware. You know this Donkey Kong Country games? Yeah. Well, imagine if they just had 3D models. We'd never get those like VFX things for the Super Nintendo, which could mean we'd never get Star Fox. And if we did, it wouldn't be as impressive as it would be now. Meaning, it probably wouldn't be as popular. You get what I mean? Random internet commenter who has no idea what they're talking about. Okay, smaller disk sizes means you could only jam in so much. This is the exact same problem as the graphics. This means you need to compress everything. It doesn't mean can just leave parts of your game out because they don't fit in. Nobody gonna buy that. You gotta compress it. And compressing things makes them look like dog shit or sound like dog shit. Far Cry 3's sound effects sound like fucking dog shit compared to Far Cry 2 for some reason. Why? I don't know, but it's probably compressing. Like, limitations mean a worse product for developers and, well, consumers. But it makes the developers work a lot harder to make this product good. It makes them care for this product a lot more. Nowadays, you can slap fucking two things in Unity and have full shadow engines and all this like ambient occlusion, all these nice effects. 10 years ago, you had to like not 10, like maybe 15 years ago, you had to draw these shadows. You had to like code in these shadows. Nowadays, throw it in Unity. Nowadays, your engine does it for you. There's still some engines that don't do it, but you get what I mean. if you're working with a modern enough engine like Unreal 4 or something like that, it's gonna do all this shit automatically. Not everything's gonna be done automatically, but a lot of it will be. And it's gonna be more automated than it used to be, even if it's not fully automatic. Smaller games means bug testers will find fewer. I can actually kind of agree with this, although it doesn't fit up with the other points. Smaller games do mean fewer glitches because developers can patch out these glitches a lot faster on a smaller game. But if you're working with limited resources other than this, like limited disk space, limited hardware, there's gonna be more glitches anyway. If a modern game was only like 2 gigs and it was like 2 minutes long, and if it has a glitch in it, fuck, that's up to you. You know, that's your fault. That's 100% your fault. If it's 100 hours long and there's like one glitch in it, that's fine. I don't care. Even if it's game breaking, it only happens once, unless it's like a forever crash. But I mean, when's that gonna happen? Huh? CD Project Red. But what I'm trying to get at here is that smaller games, yeah, they mean less bugs. But if you have less hardware to check these bugs at a actual notable speed, there's gonna be more bugs either way. Yeah, if you made a 100-hour game with the same hardware, gonna be more bugs. But with limitations, you're still gonna have bugs. Half-Life 2 has a bunch of physics engine bugs. You ever see two models glitch out? Skyrim, bugs. All of these games, bugs. Sonic 2 had like the fucking glitching out a wall bug. Sonic 3 had that too, and Sonic 3 came out after that, and Sonic 3 is really impressive and fun. And if we're talking about bugs, we may as well talk about oversights. Sonic 2 had the pit. You know the one. If you've played it, you know the one. You fucking know it. Skyrim had the fucking horse thing where you just climb any mountain in the game. Crash 2 had the weird bounce glitch thing. Yeah, there was a good video made about it. Maybe link it. I don't know. I can't think of a bug Doom 2 had, but it probably does have bugs. Then again, the engine's pretty good on Doom 2. I'll give you Doom 2. Fewer glitches means the developers won't. Yeah, they won't waste time polishing the game yet, but they have to waste time compressing graphics and audio files. They have to waste time, making all these new models and shadow renders. They gotta waste all this time making inbuilt graphics and all this. Just because there's less glitches doesn't mean there's less of everything else. And nowadays, glitches are as easy to get rid of as ever. Before, if there's a game breaking glitch, you gotta figure that shit out yourself, bud. Nobody else gonna do that for you. Now, yeah, there's guides on the internet how to fix this crap. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, dude. The game developers likely knew what hardware they were playing on. Well, yeah, I guess I'll give you that. They do knew, they did know what was possible, but they still know what is possible. That hasn't changed. What do you want about? It's like that last point. It's stupid, dude. It's not rocket science to make an easy fucking rebuttal. Do research, dude. I'm sorry, but like, I I have nothing else to say. And how overconfident you were, going, you dumbass. Fuck, it's not rocket science, dude. May as well have been fucking rocket science. You're hopping into this literally unknown fucking business. Well, even when Halo came out, video games were still pretty uncertain about what you could do and what you couldn't do. FPS, for example. Halo was the first FPS to have proper twin stick controls. I'm not talking about any like twin stick shooter. I'm talking about like actual move with one stick, aim with the other stick. That shit's new. Nobody would know if they like or hate that. That's crazy, and that's a limitation. The fact that you don't know if this is a good or bad thing. That's a type of limitation. Nowadays, how many game companies, AAA game companies have you seen make a make a completely new type of game? Oh, what? None? Oh, one or two? Yeah, but limitations are good and bad. But for game development purposes, they're bad. I don't understand what you're on about. Like, limitations are limitations mean less bugs. Limitations mean less time spent on graphics. Limitations mean less time spent on me railing your fucking mom. Okay, bye.